Hey everyone, this is Chad. Thanks for coming to Arctic Horde Wargaming. Today we have a match between myself and Heidi. We're going to be playing Street Fight. This is from the great game Mordheim I had referenced in my previous painting video. This is the first of 3 games. We're going to do a little bit of an escalation as we go between, so we'll do upgrades and takeouts of characters and things like that, leading to a final battle in the 3rd round. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Stay tuned for the show, folks. So I get my warband all written up, and the only thing I have left to do is roll for my ritual. So I got 4, and that is the Lure of Chaos. Oh wow, okay. So this is actually my favorite of them. Basically it allows me to take control of one of her models during the game. So it's a difficulty 9. Now Heidi's going to roll for hers.
And it says, the Call of the Vandal. A single zombie or dire wolf within 6 inches of the necromancer may immediately move again up to its max movement distance 9 inches in case of the dire wolf. If this moves them into a base contact with an enemy model, they count as charging.
And what page is that on?
That is on page 58.
Alright, now we're going to roll to see who sets up first. I got, unfortunately, a 1. 2, so that means Heidi gets to choose who sets up first.
I'll let you set up first.
Alright, so we're going to deploy within 6 inches of the opposite ends of the street. I'm going to set up my warband on this end, and Heidi's going to set up her warband down on that end where the Mordheim sign is. And so the line that she has to get to is actually this one right here. Because each one of these squares is roughly 12 inches. So the 4x4 table will be over here.
And where do you have to get to?
I have to get off the end.
Okay.
So, but you have to get to this line that's right here.
Okay.
So, and the reason why I'm pointing that out is because it's around the sides of the buildings, and the way the scenario reads is the buildings are blocking the street. But for you, you actually have to go through that part there, so you can get through there. So we are going to use our Mordheim League rules. We have a Mordheim League here in Minnesota that we do pretty much every year. And basically it goes like this. It's -1 to the offhand. And if you are climbing, then if you fail, you don't automatically test to see if you fall. So what we do there is you basically just failed to climb, and you can move as normal on the level that you're on. The other rule that we go with is, because if you go further into campaigns and your leader dies, she has the Undead, and she will actually be able to replace her leader no problem, just got to pay the points. But the way we did that in our league, and the way we're going to do that in this 3-game campaign is, if your guy dies, so if mine dies too, we can just replace it. But we are going to play it with our rule that you can only replace your leader once. So if he dies again after that, or she dies again after that, then you're basically just out of luck. But you can replace it once. So this is my warband. I got it all set up here. I have my 4 Dark Souls kind of spread out along the line there. Then I have my Magister in back. And in front of them, or in front of him, I got the 2 Possessed there. I call them the Bash Brothers. Basically, my Magister has a dagger and a sword. He has the Lure of Chaos, which you saw us roll for. The Possessed cause fear, and one of them has a claw, and then one of them has a tentacle. So you can see this guy here, he has the claw. The other guy, I'm going to use him as the tentacle. And these are proxies. I'm still in the process of building the actual Possessed models for this. And then I have my 4 Dark Souls. They basically have daggers and mace, and they know no fear. That's what they got. So this is 485 points. I have a warband rating of 71.
I'm Heidi. I am here to kick some serious butt against Chad, and so I'm here to tell you about my warband. They're all freshly painted and looking good. So here is my vampire, Elvira. She is my leader. Here is her basset hound, Direwolf. Here is our Freddy the Necromancer. And then these are ghouls that protect. I have a total of 5. I have 3 over here and 2 over here. And then I have dregs. So they're identified by a hack, a pitchfork, a hack, and a spear. And they all have bows. 2 of them have a long distance bow, and the other one has a short. The one with the short is with a fork. My warband is 500 points. My necromancer has a spell of, which we rolled for, the Call of the Vanal, which 6 inches from the necromancer, which if I have a dire wolf or a vampire may move again, and if it comes in contact with the enemy model, it is considered a charge, which a charge for a dire wolf gets 2 attacks.
And how many points is it?
500, exactly. My warband rating is 83.
What is yours?
A 5.
Alright, mine's a 6. So I'm going to go first. Nothing too exciting for me for round 1. Basically just everybody ran up. So everybody moved their maximum distance. I don't have any shooting, so the only real range thing I got going for me here is my spell, and I gotta get within 12 inches of her. And she has how many things that shoot?
3.
3.
My drags.
So as I get closer, she'll start plunking away at me there, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
So, as you can tell, I rolled up my slaves because I'm ready for action. So my first move, I moved my Elvira right here next to her poster. I'm so famous, they put posters up of me. Moved her Bastard Hound Direwolf right behind her. And then I moved up my ghouls, as you can see. And then my Necromancer is right here. And then I kept my dire wolves that can shoot back here.
Drags?
My drags that can shoot. 2 of them can shoot 24 inches, the other one can shoot 16.
I'm outside of range to cast my spells. I ran again with everybody else, just going my full distance. I'm in shooting range of Heidi's warband for this next turn here, so we'll see what happens.
I'm in my shooting phase, so I'm going to roll to see if my spell goes off for my Necromancer, for my Direwolf, because they are 6 inches apart. And if it goes off, then the Direwolf gets another move, and if it lands into a charging phase, then it can attack with 2. And I got it with a 6. It needed a 6 to go off. What's the difference between these 2?
They're exactly the same. The only thing I would say is you have to do the rest of your shooting first.
Okay, so that's fine. So my BS is a 2, which would put me at 5, and because I moved, it would be a 6. So I need a 6 for my shooting to go off.
And that's on that drag to which of my
The
possessed?
spear drag to this guy.
So that drag to that guy. Okay.
And I got a 6. It went off.
Okay.
Woohoo!
So then it goes on your weapon strength.
Skill. My weapon skill is a 2. Yours is a toughness is a what?
Toughness is a 4.
Okay. So then if your toughness is a 4, then I would need a 6 for it to go off. Can we make it again? Can we make it again? I did! Woohoo!
Uh-oh. Okay, so...
Went off.
Yep, so the possessed don't have any armor.
Okay.
And so I can't do anything to save it.
Okay. So then I roll to see what happens to it.
Yep.
Okay. Come on, baby. Come on. Give me a 6. Give me a 6. I will take a 6. And I got a 6.
Heidi's got her cooked dice here. So
So that means critical hit, which is a major strike. 1 wound equals 2 wounds. No armor saves. Plus 2 to the injury roll.
okay, so that was a master strike. 1 wound equals 2 wounds. No armor saves. Plus 2 to injury rolls. So basically, that takes him. His 2 wounds are out because he has 2 wounds. So instead of him being dead, you would roll to see. Yeah, so instead of him being dead, you would roll to see what happens to him now.
Even though the master strike does
So he has
2 wounds.
he has 2 wounds, so he
Yeah.
takes the 2 wounds.
Yeah, which would.
But it doesn't kill him.
Okay.
Because the first 2 wounds, then you roll to see what actually happens to him as far as injury goes.
Okay. Come on. Whoops. Come on. Give me a 5 or 6. 5 or 6. I got a 4.
So
Which
he's
is a stun.
stunned. Yep. So that means he's knocked down. Which one was it? That guy, Mr. Claw.
Yep. So my other one is the same. This one right here. He also can shoot, and he moved.
Okay.
So he's gonna go for the same target.
Yep, so you need a 6, and then another 6. And then ideally a 6.
Nope.
So 2, nothing.
Did not work.
Okay.
Okay. So.
You got the third guy there.
Yep, but he has a 12.
Oh yeah, you're out of range for him.
Yeah. So. Okay, so now my wolf can move. And I am gonna go with. Get him from the back side.
Alright, so you're going to do charges. We'll do all of the movement up on that stuff.
Because of my spell being less than 6 inches from the necromancer to my dire wolf gets an extra move. If it moves into a charge and is in base-to-base contact with an enemy model, it gets 2 attacks. So that's what he's doing right now. Close combat, 2 attacks for the dire wolf. So I'm gonna roll for both of them. My weapon skill is a 3 for the dire wolf. Your toughness or your weapon skill is a what?
2.
So then I only need 3s. And I get 2. So they both go off. One was a crit, doesn't really matter.
No, that's on the wound. So my toughness is 3.
Okay. Okay, so yours is a 3 and my strength is a 4. So I need a 3. And I got both of them.
Okay. So he doesn't have
One
any.
was actually a crit.
Okay, so he doesn't have any armor. So roll to see what happens with the crit.
Roll 2.
Roll on the critical hit chart.
6.
6. So master strike, 1 wound equals 2 wounds. No armor save.
Yep.
So what this guy, that actually just takes him out.
Okay.
Later, dude.
And I get no points, no experience points for the dire wolf.
No, not with that.
Chad only has 2 more miniatures to be taken out before he has to do his.
So before I start trying to test her out.
Yep.
So my Magister moved up. Everybody else moved up there. And now I'm going to try to cast my spell. So I have to go towards the nearest enemy model, which would be that ghoul right there. So I'm going to see what happens here. I need a 9. That is nowhere near a 9. Yep. So that is actually the end of my turn. I opted not to charge, and this guy actually scooched back.
I moved my wolf, my dire wolf, and my necromancer, and I made it to where they were 6 inches apart. So the dire wolf is actually going to get to charge again, and he's going to charge this guy right here.
Well, if you get that spell off.
If I get the spell off, he will charge. Okay. These guys charge this guy right here. I left these guys open right here because I did not move any of my shooting guys. And I'm going to shoot with them. My vampire is all the way down to the end. She is almost off the board for safety. 5. Give me 5. Is it the same ballistic skills that the other one was? Oh, yeah, mine is. Mine's a 2. I got a 4, so it didn't go off. Okay, let's try this one. Same distance.
Which one?
This one right here.
Okay.
He also has a 24-inch. Oh, I'm sorry. This one right here. He has the 24. He did not get it. This one has a 12. He did not move. And he is in range. So is that considered long distance? So would that be I have to get a 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it depends. I mean, you have to look at the chart, but it is a long distance because it's over half.
Okay. Well, and he's only 12. So he's exactly touching at 12.
Yeah. So it's over half, though.
And I got a 1, so none of my shootings went off. I'm going to see if my charge guy goes. He needs a 6 for it to happen. And I got a 5. Did not. Okay, so that is...
Lucky me. That guy might stick around.
So then we are going to charge with those guys. They already charged, so now we are going to shoot. The dregs get 2 attacks apiece. So would you like me to go one at a time? Or do you want me to go all 6?
Those aren't dregs, those are ghouls.
I'm sorry, ghouls, they get 2 attacks.
So this combat right here, she's going to get to go with all 3 because she charged me. So she has a weapon skill of 2. And you have a weapon skill of what?
2.
2, yeah. So 2 to 2s.
4. And they get 2 attacks apiece, so I get... So it's 3 and 3?
Yep. 4s.
94. And none went through.
Wow, that dude got lucky. He has a lucky charm hanging around his neck. Okay, so then he's going to get the straight back. He has a dagger and a mace. So the weapon skill 2 against your 2s. So I'm going to need a 4. That's a 6. And then strength.
Which one are you attacking?
I'll just start with that dude. And then strength.
My toughness is a 4.
So 1, nothing. Then the dagger. Misses. So nothing happening there. And that is the end of Heidi's turn. That's 3, right?
Yeah.
So I did realize that when I rolled him back, he shouldn't have actually been able to backtrack because that's actually one of the rules of this scenario. So he should have went 2 inches this way instead of 2 inches that way. But on my turn here, he stood up. So I'm going to move him the 2 inches back this way. That's really where he should have been. And then 2 inches that way. So when he rolled, like I said, he started here and went 2 inches that way. So I basically just put him in the direction he should have been. So anyway, that's where he is. He stood up. The rest of these guys, that guy's in combat, so I'm going to move the rest of these dudes. I did all my movement. Basically just shuffled all these guys forward. Since they're within 8, they can't run, so they just move their regular movement. And now I'm going to try to cast the Lure of Chaos. It's going to be on that ghoul on the end here. So it goes off on a 9. That is not a 9. So I'm going to go ahead and roll here. I'm weapon skill 2 against her weapon skill 2. So nothing. Oh, I should ask. That would actually go based on initiative. So what's the initiative of your dudes?
Which one?
The ghouls.
There are 3.
So you're a 3, I'm a 3. So then we would actually roll to see who goes first. So I got a 5. Roll it in the box. Heidi's got her shuffling slippers on.
There you go. That's you.
Alright, so I did get to go first. However, I missed, so now you get to go. So I actually moved that dude after he stood up my full distance, which I shouldn't have. I should have moved him half. So he's right there. Basically where he was before, kind of. So anyway, so now we're going to go on to Heidi's combat here. So she's going to roll 6 dice and see what she does to me.
Okay, I got 2.
Okay, and then my toughness is 3 against your strength.
I think I needed 4s again. My strength is a 3.
Okay.
So I got 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll to see what happens to him.
6.
He
He's out.
is dead as disco.
So that's 2. I only got 1 more to go. For Chad has to start taking roll, Chad.
While Heidi's moving here, something else came up too. So we actually have an intercept rule that goes in a circle rather than the straight line that's shown in the main rules. That's what we do in our league, so that's what we're going to do here. But I am opting not to intercept with my Magister there.
Okay, so he shoots 24 and can shoot him. Doesn't need a 6. He needs a 5. He didn't move. He also is a 24-inch. Doesn't need a 6. Needs a 5 because he didn't move. We'll go from there. Yep.
Floor days don't count, Jordan.
And a 6, so he gets to shoot.
So, yep, he got him.
Come on, baby, give me a 5 or a 6. Damn it.
Floor days don't count, Jordan.
And a 6, woohoo! And that's a crit.
That's a crit.
Okay.
So now roll to see what the crit does.
Come on, baby, give me a 6. Give me a 5. Give me a 6. Give me a 5. Woohoo! A 5 hit out action.
No, that's a master strike.
A master strike. 1 wound equals 2 wounds. No armor save. A +2 to the injury roll. So that means that guy should have been out.
So now you basically just roll to see what happens to him.
Which still is a +2 to the injury roll.
Roll to see what happens to him.
A 6. He's out.
Yeah, so now he is dead.
Taking this guy who has 12, has a short bow, and I'm shooting him. I need a 6. And I got it. Woohoo!
Oh, you cook these dice really well.
Okay. So then mine's a strength of 3, yours is a what?
Toughness 3.
Okay. That means I need a 4. Come on, baby, give me a 4. I got a 4.
Alright, roll to see what happens to him.
Okay. Give me a 5 or a 6. I got a 4. So he is stunned.
And it was this guy?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna do our charges. So I charged with him. So I need a 4. And because I charge, I get 2 attacks. And I got both.
Okay. I have a toughness of 4.
4. I need a 4. And I got both.
Okay.
Okay.
So now roll to see what happens to him.
Oops. Where'd my dice go? So, one was a 3 and one was a 5. So one is out of action, the other one is a stun.
Yep, so there goes my other dude. I think this is the first time I've ever lost both possessed.
Okay, so that is the end of my charges. So the end of my turn.
So this is what it looks like the end of turn 4. And Heidi has some good news.
Elvira, Elvira, she made it off.
Alright, let's see what happens here. Beginning of my turn.
What do you need?
Leadership test.
What do you need?
I need 8. I wrote.
That means I won.
That does mean you won.
Elvira.
Well, that was a tough one. Like I said, I have very rarely seen both of my possessed go out. I might have to back up because we were talking when my second possessed went out. She might have knocked the first one out a turn earlier. I might have done that roll wrong, so I'm going to look at the footage. And either way, he went out, which was brutal. Your dice rolls were brutal. You got 6s and 5s and all the stuff you needed to. So my warband basically went down quick, and I ended up routing. So that was a tough game for me, the first of 3. And so we'll roll to see what happens with those guys. And my Magister stuck around, but if I lose those, it's going to be pretty tough in this first of 3 battles. So, I don't know, what was your thoughts on it?
I thought it was an okay game. I had a focus on shooting you as you got closer to me, which seemed to work. Elvira kind of was all about herself, which is okay. She ran off the board like she was supposed to, like a leader does. Whoop, whoop.
Forget you guys. Good luck.
I had good rolls, except for the one time that I wanted it to go off. It didn't go off, which was kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Worked out in the end. My dice rolls came back with a vengeance, so I got lucky. So, all in all, I won because you voted. It would have been interesting if we would have went to the end.
Well, maybe the next one. So, good game.
Okay, so because I won the game, I'm working on my experience points, and it says I get a +1 for survivor. If a hero or a henchman group survives the battle, they gain a point. So all of my 11 models survived, so they all gain an experience points, except for my dire wolf, who cannot get any points at all. So I'm going to give them each a point. The winning leader gets a point, so that would be my vampire, so she gets a point. 1 per enemy out of action, so any hero earns a +1 experience point for each enemy he puts out of action. So I did that when I took them out of action, so I don't think I do that again. +1 escaping, the first hero from either side, not both, who exits vis-a the opposite side, table gains a point, 1 point. So Elvira made it off the board before Chad could even reach the board, so she gets a point. So that is my experiences from the game so far. The advanced rolls. So like I said, I have 2 dregs that hit the bold boxes, so they will actually gain a advanced roll, a skill, or a character depending on what I roll. And so we will do the first one first, and it is 2d6. So she is going to get, I got a 7, so a 7 is a character increase, so I can either choose a weapon skill or a ballistic skill. I think I will choose a weapon skill for her, so she went from a 2 to a 3. Okay, now my next one, she also advanced, and it is the gal who had the short bow, and we're going to see what she gets. She also has a 7, so she gets to either choose a weapon skill or a ballistic skill, and we are going to go again with the weapon skill for her as well. Okay, so that is all for my advancements. So none of my henchmen's advanced at all. They only just got on the board, so we're good there. Okay, that is all of my advance rolls. So I have 5 heroes that survive, so I get 5 dice plus 1 for winning the game. So that would make 6 dice or 6 to see how many weird shards I have found.
And remember, don't grab them right away because you want to look and see if we got doubles.
Okay, so I got 3 6s and I got a 4, a 2, and a 3. So 12, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21 is a total. So 21, so 18 to 24 is 4 shards. So I'll write that down. And now I got doubles for 6s, or triples for 6s. So it says for 3 6s, it's returning a favor. So returning a favor. Turning to your enchantment, you meet one of your old acquaintance. He has come to repay an odd favor or debt. You gain the experience by any one hired sword. Choose from those available to your warband for the duration of the next battle, free of charge. After the battle, he will depart. Or you may continue to pay for an upkeep as normal. Ha ha! An orc! I get an orc!
It's an ogre, honey.
Okay. Roll it! Are you rolling?
It's been rolling the whole time.
So, I get to hire a swordsman. Meet the
Ogre.
Ogre. I'm sorry. Meet the ogre. He is my hired swordsman for the next game. My ogre comes with light armor. And I can pick between a sword, an axe, or a club for his weapon. If he does a sword, it's 2 swords, an axe, and a club. So I am going to go with the club, which means that when I have to roll for the model's injuries, if I get a 2 or 4, it's considered stunned. So we are going to give that a whack, no pun intended, to see how it goes. Okay, honey. I have 4 ward stones. Do I want to cash them in yet? Cash them in for 65 gold crowns. And I spent 30 of my gold crowns to equip my dregs with helmets. So if they get hit at all, the stun will be considered a knockdown. So that will help with them a little bit. And I did an ogre, and so light armor and a club. And I get him for free for the next game, and then we'll see how he does to see if he sticks around for the 3rd game. So I can do some more serious butt kicking. Okay, over to you, honey.
So I'm going to go ahead and do my post-game stuff. I'll just do it later when you're not around. Isn't that how this works?
No, you have to do it when I'm looking.
Oh. I'm going to roll for the henchmen here. So I have 2 henchmen that went out. It's these fellas right here. So henchman number 1. See what happens to him. 1. So they're removed. Dude, this is not going well for me. So then henchman number 2. This dude right here.
1 or 2.
That's a 5, so he's fine. Cool. He sticks around. Now the ones that really matter. So these are my possessed, so I'll roll for that guy first. I got 2 different colored dice. So the bigger dice will be...
The first number or the second?
I gotta find my chart. The bigger dice will be the first number. And I also would recommend for anybody that plays this a lot, which you should be playing it a lot because it's awesome. But I would recommend getting the sheets printed out that you need and then getting them laminated. We did that on cardstock and then I had them laminated. Because these are the stuff that you're going to use all the time. So like the injury chart, the income, the play sheet, all of those sheets. Definitely do that for them. So I have 2 different colored dice. The yellow dice is the first number. And that is a 24. Madness. Roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, the warrior suffers from stupidity. Oh, this is horrible. And out of 4 through 6, the warrior suffers from frenzy from now on, which is also bad because then he's got to charge whoever is there.
Okay, I'm hoping for stupidity.
Nope, frenzy.
Okay.
So, luckily for me, or unluckily, whatever, frenzy. So that is this dude, that is the tentacle, Frenzy. And it says, see the psychology section for details. So basically, yeah, he just charges whatever he's mad at. So that's that guy. And then I'll roll again my 2 dice for my other dude, the Claw. So 51. Full recovery. Finally, I catch a break. So before I do for my Weirdstone shards, now I'm going to actually do my upgrades. And so that is going to be, if your hermit or henchman group survives the battle, they gain +1 experience. And then winning leader, that is not me. I didn't take anybody out of action, and I didn't make it across the end. So basically, I just got a bump in experience. So now I'm going to roll for Weirdstone shards. So I have 3 guys in my warband. Three heroes, that is. And so I got double 6s. So 2 6s and a 3. So 15. So that gives me 3 shards, which I am going to have to sell right away to replenish my ranks here. But now I'm going to look up to see what I get for the double 6s. Double 6s, ruined hovels. I find, oh, that's not very great. Okay, so ruined hovels. I find D6 gold crowns. So I get 2 gold crowns out of that.
Hey,
okay.
At least 2 gold crowns is better than nothing.
That's true.
Could have just gotten 1.
Okay. Sunny side up, glass half full. I get it. So number of shards sold. I'm going to sell all 3. I have 7. Actually, I have 6 guys in my warband now. And so I get 65. Oh, I'm sorry, I get 70. Because I have 6 guys in there. So equal 70. So I sold my shards. I got 70. I got the 2 gold crowns that I'd found, and then I had 15 gold crowns left over because my warband was only 485. So that gives me 87 to play with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy 2 Dark Souls. So that'll get this group back the guy that he lost, and then add 1. So now this group goes up to 5. And because they only have 1 experience, I don't have to pay anything to get them in there, to get these guys in there yet. And then I'm going to purchase a dagger for each of them and then give them each a mace too. So that's what the whole group has. So to do that, that gets 76 gold crowns. 13. So that leaves me with 13 gold crowns left over.
Stay tuned for the next one, folks, because we are going to do the Weirdstone hunt, and we will see who champions that one. If it's me, it'll be 2 out of 3, but we'll see.